At the start of the movie, a little girl and an old man venture out of their home to get some fresh air. However, what they see completely shocks them. The city of London, which was sprawling with humans and traffic just the previous night, has suddenly been covered with a thick forest. The skyscrapers, monuments, houses, everything has been covered with gigantic trees that emerged from nowhere. It doesn't take them long to realize that the final days of humanity have arrived, as nature is taking back what is theirs. In the next scene, several news channels report that the mysterious trees have not only engulfed London but the whole world. Everywhere, people are panicking over the sudden appearance of the trees, and now some countries, including the United Kingdom, are planning to burn down the trees to clear them. Jamaica says, "We've been burning trees for centuries, no need to stop now." Elsewhere, we are introduced to Clara and her boyfriend Danny. The two are teachers at a local school and brought some of their special students on a museum sleepover trip. After gathering all their belongings, the group decides to head home. One student stops to stare at a cross-section of a tree on display, noticing that it has a single thick red ring depicting how many years it grew. Clara, not knowing what it means, simply guesses that it must have been a good year to be a tree. When they reach the entrance, the guard for some reason fails to open the door. Realizing that it is jammed, Danny urges the students to help and finally opens the door. However, when they reach outside, they are completely shocked by what they see. Trees have taken over the entire city. The confused Clara quickly calls the old man from earlier, who is actually Doctor Who, an alien tasked with rectifying the anomalies of the universe. It turns out that Clara is his accomplice, and the two are known for solving strange mysteries around the universe. She asks the doctor if he's in the area, and he says yes. He further mentions that he is not alone, as a little girl named Mabe is giving him company. Hearing the name, Clara becomes surprised, as Mabe is one of her students, and she is supposed to be in their group. Doctor Who is being sus. Wasting no time, she tells Danny about the situation, and the two start blaming each other for their carelessness. As they argue, we get to know that Mabe is suffering from emotional trauma and has regular medications for it. Shortly after, Danny, Clara, and all the students reach the doctor's base, which is called TARDIS, to bring back Mabe. There, one of the students, Ruby, breaks a small branch and finds out there are no rings in it. She finds it very strange, as a tree's age is determined by its rings. 1 ring equals 1 year. Just then, Doctor Who approaches them and reveals that the tree has no rings because it grew overnight. Just like all the other ones in the world, Danny asserts that it is impossible, but the doctor responds that it is similar to the Ice Age, which appeared out of nowhere and decimated the Earth in just a few days. He jokingly says, "Welcome to the Tree Age." Welcome to the Tree Age. Oh, Doctor Who, haha. Following this, the entire group enters TARDIS. While the adults try to decipher the situation, the kids are busy playing with the high-end gadgets present inside. Just then, the doctor comes across someone's assignment book, which has a series of drawings, each page having a picture of an angry sun striking down trees. He demands to know who drew the pictures, and learns that it was none other than Mabe herself. Soon, everyone starts searching for the little girl, but she is nowhere to be found. Then, Clara reveals that Mabe is different from the other students. She hears voices in her head. It all started when her sister went missing a few months back. Hearing this, the doctor deduces that Mabe knows something, and that she was trying to explain it all this time. The voices she hears aren't normal voices, but someone, or something, is trying to contact her. Hence, she is the only one who can lead them to the source of the trees. When the doctor asks what the voices say, Clara explains that Mabe takes medication that can make the voices go away. This angers the doctor, and he shouts that they never listen to a child. He then uses his sonic screwdriver to get a reading on Mabe's phone. Following this, he and Clara set out to find her, while Danny and the kids stay behind in the TARDIS. During the search, a massive statue cracks and falls on them. Luckily, the two evade just in time and survive. The doctor claims that if this really is an invasion by nature, they would have won easily, and humanity would be doomed. Hence, he's still confused on the purpose of the invasion. A while later, the two find Mabe's cell phone on the ground, and assume that she is leaving clues for them. Their assumptions turn out to be true when they find her tiffin box and purse along the way. It appears as if the little girl is trying to lead them somewhere. Elsewhere, Mabe runs across some men in protective suits who are preparing to burn down the whole forest. For some reason, this scares her, and she immediately changes course and runs away. Shortly after, the doctor and Clara also arrive at the scene, only to be ordered to vacate the area for their own safety. Soon, the men ignite their flamethrowers and start burning the trees. Surprisingly, not a single leaf burns, implying that the trees are not normal. The doctor is equally dumbfounded by the strange phenomenon. but he deduces that the trees are controlling the oxygen. Since fires do not ignite in the absence of oxygen, the trees are deliberately holding it back so that they do not burn. With this information, the doctor starts exploring the reasons for the strange occurrence. When he once again checks Mabe's drawing, it finally dawns on him that the trees are not the enemies, but they're actually trying to save the Earth from an impending catastrophe. Now, they have to find Mabe, as she is in some way connected to the trees. As the two are discussing, they hear some wolves howling nearby. Clara asserts that it is impossible to have wolves in London, but the doctor assumes that they broke out of the nearby zoo. On the other hand, Mabe is spotted by the wolves, causing her to run in terror. Hearing her screams, the doctor and Clara rush to help her. They find her on the other side of a fence, and just as the wolves are about to attack Mabe, she spots a gate and reaches safety. However, their problems are far from over, as the wolves are easily capable of jumping the fence. With their lives on the line, the doctor instructs Clara and Mabe to huddle together and act like a monster. The plan doesn't work, and the wolves jump the fence. But instead of attacking the group, they whimper and run away. Mabe is left confused as to why the ferocious beasts would run away. Just then, a Bengal tiger slowly approaches them from the other side of the fence. This time, it appears as if the group is doomed. But luckily, Danny and the children arrive in the nick of time and scare the tiger away. As the two parties reunite and exchange pleasantries, Mabe continues acting strangely. It seems like she is swatting something from her head. Looking at her condition, Ruby pleads with her teachers to give Mabe her medications, but the doctor stops them. He mentions that something is trying to contact Mabe, and if she takes the medications, she will stop hearing the voices in her head. He further mentions that the voices may be instrumental in deciphering the situation. Soon, Mabe runs off again, and everyone pursues her. She leads them to a barren place where there are no trees or vegetation. With everyone's attention on her, Mabe reveals that after the disappearance of her sister Annabelle, she started searching for her everywhere. She couldn't find Annabelle, but what she did find were several thoughts. One of the thoughts talked about covering the entire world with dense forest, claiming that it is necessary. The doctor inquires about the source of the thoughts, but little Mabe can't give a definite answer. As a result, he takes out his sonic screwdriver and operates it on Mabe. This causes the objects irritating Mabe to become visible as sparks of light. Soon, the lights become still and use Mabe to communicate. They reveal that they're the life force of the trees, which have been on Earth for billions of years and will continue to live for eternity. Their duty is to save the Earth from external threats, and this time, the threat is the approaching solar flare from the sun. Confused, the doctor asks the life force if they sent Mabe him, but they deny it. Saying this, the lights leave, freeing Mabe of her sickness. Later, Clara approaches the doctor and inquires if he can save the world. Unfortunately, he replies that he can only stop evil forces, not nature. With all hopes now seemingly lost, Clara proposes an idea to at least save the children and themselves by entering the TARDIS and transporting to a different direction. However, when the group reaches the TARDIS, she tells the doctor that none of the kids will be joining them. They simply cannot abandon their parents and run off to another planet. It turns out that she faked the idea just to get the doctor back to safety, as he is essential in the timeline. Not wanting to be alone, the doctor tells Clara that Earth is his planet too, and asks her to join him. However, she also refuses, claiming that she doesn't want to be the last of her kind. With this, the sleepover group departs, leaving the doctor alone in the TARDIS. In the next scene, as the doctor is continuing his research, he comes to a sudden realization that the solar flare has happened before in the past. He then rushes to meet the group and brings them back inside the TARDIS. There, he explains that the trees are the real heroes, and that they have been protecting life on Earth for centuries. Whenever a major catastrophe hit, they sprung up all over the world to keep it safe from devastation. For instance, the Tunguska blast of 1908 and the 1930 Karuka impact in Brazil should have wiped humanity. But it didn't. This is because the trees all over the world reunite and neutralize the threat by controlling the atmosphere. Massive forests fill the atmosphere with oxygen, pumping it up like a highly inflammable airbag. As a result, when trouble hits, the impact burns off the excess oxygen, so they act as a shield that protects the Earth. Claire then points out that the tree they saw earlier in the museum has a red ring in its cross-section, and the red ring is wider than the others, which is proof that the atmospheric dust was captured by the tree while saving the Earth a long time ago. Just then, Danny reveals that he heard the government is sending out teams to defoliate the trees. They will drop extremely poisonous chemicals onto the leaves, and as a result of which, the trees will finally die. Hearing this, the doctor becomes enraged, as humanity is trying to kill the only element that is trying to save the Earth. Luckily, he finds that the mobile networks are still operating, and decides to broadcast a message to the entire Earth. Little Mabe offers to convey the message, since she was the first to receive the news, and the doctor agrees. After this, the kids gather around and start composing a message, while the doctor hacks into every communication device in the world. Once everything is set up, Mabe starts speaking. Her speech is heard around the world, advising everyone to be calm and that the trees are to be left alone, as they serve a benevolent purpose. She tells everyone that the trees are their friends, and that they are here to save the Earth from a disaster. So, they should just stay inside their homes, and let the trees do their work. Before hanging up, she also requests that her sister Annabelle return. Shortly after, the kids head outside, determined to meet their family. Since they are not sure if the Earth will be saved, they want to spend the last hours with their loved ones. Hearing Mabe's message, her mother also arrives outside the TARDIS and hugs her tightly. Before leaving, the doctor asks the kids if they want to watch the solar flare from space, but they refuse. Only his companion Clara agrees to it, but only after all the kids are returned home. She and Danny then share a kiss, which the children laugh at, as the rumors about them dating have been proven true. Later, the two time travelers reach space in their TARDIS and watch the Earth. Soon, the solar flare strikes, and the Earth is covered in flames. However, according to the doctor's prediction, the trees absorb the devastation and eventually save Earth. Later, as they look over London, the gigantic trees start crumbling away. Clara wonders what will be told about the trees, but the doctor replies that they will simply be forgotten. Just like any story in the past, it will simply become a fairy tale, as humankind has one superpower: the power of forgetting things. Unless someone filmed it for TikTok. Elsewhere, Mabe and her mom happily return home after a great day of adventure. Just then, the little girl spots someone in a nearby bush and becomes excited. The movie ends as the bush evaporates into the air, exposing her long-lost sister, Annabelle.